What's up, everybody? Fame Rothstein here. Fame Rothstein Sports Investing Show. Today is Monday, April 20th. All right, go ahead and get your little 420 jokes out the way. Monday, April 20th, 2020. By the time you see this, it'll probably be about 6 or 7 Eastern time. Right now, it's about 4 p.m. I'm going to load it later. I'm just going to record it. I do not have my glasses on. So, that's why I said get your little 420 jokes out. Listen, today we're going to talk about The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan 1998 Chicago Bulls documentary. All right? But before I continue, why don't you go ahead and start smashing that like button for me. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Don't forget the podcast is, normally, when there's sports betting available, it's Thursday through Monday. Currently, there's no sports betting available. So therefore, if you do have a gambling problem, you can watch this show. You should be okay. But the next one we do Thursday involving the NFL draft, you might want to stay away from, all right? Because we will talk sports wagering. But right now, we're going to talk The Last Dance, the documentary about the Chicago Bulls, the second three-peat, their last season together. Going into the season, they knew it was going to be the last season. That's why it's called The Last Dance. Phil gave them the preseason workbook, playbook, play sheets and whatnot, and he called it The Last Dance for the season outlook. Jerry Krause, if I remember right, back then, Jerry Krause, the GM, he basically said that he didn't want to be like the Celtics. The Celtics, Larry Bird, McHale, Parrish, DJ, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, they kept them veterans around because they were fan favorites, and they won 3 titles. But he kept them around. They said they kept them around a little too long, and it was hurting their rebuilding at the time. I don't think that the Celtics really got good again until, say, maybe from 93 to 2000. I don't think they really got good again until then because Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce, they didn't really come into their own until the 2000s. All right, and Antoine Walker only had a couple good years, because Kenyon Martin came through, got drafted number 1, and kind of was a dominant forward in the East for a while. All right, so and they're comparing Jerry Krause to Mr. Swackhammer. They're saying that Mr. Swackhammer from the Space Jam movie was inspired by Jerry Krause. I can see that. I can definitely see that. But Jerry Krause and Jerry Reinsdorf was the owner. Jerry Reinsdorf just put the team in his hands and said, do you, And it looks like Jerry Krause kind of broke up a team just because, like the Cowboys of the 90s, firing Jimmy for no reason. So what, you didn't get along? And yeah, you won a Super Bowl a year later with another guy, but it wasn't the same. Like, you didn't expect the Cowboys to lose with Jimmy. With Barry Switzer, the coach who replaced him, it could have been anything. But, Michael, Aikman, and Troy was just so good, they were able to coach with Barry. Because remember, Troy Aikman transferred out of Oklahoma where Barry Switzer was the coach there because they wouldn't switch the offense. The number 1 quarterback in the state, they wouldn't switch the offense for him from the triple option to a more passing offense. So, Troy already didn't get along with him. But, about these Bulls, they had the starting 5 was Luke Longley at center. Forwards were Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. Then the guards were Ron Harper and, of course, Michael Jordan. And he was a little bit of a Bama when he first got there in North Carolina. His accent, his southern drawl was thick. But he showed the promise then that he was on pace to be the man. Hit the game-winning shot. Georgetown, James Worthy, I think he's an NBA Hall of Famer, but he played on those Lakers Showtime teams, and he even said it. Michael Jordan, I was better than Michael Jordan for about 2 weeks when he got to North Carolina, UNC. So, that's it's a powerful documentary. It's going, I find it odd though that Jordan didn't want, he had that footage since 1998 and for 18 years. What was it? 18 years. They sat on that footage. He wanted nothing to do with it until, you know, LeBron brought Cleveland back, won that title. Kind of looks like Jordan saying, hey, I got to let these people remember I'm the best, not him. Because LeBron could, you know, that's when LeBron started talking that GOAT. That's when they started talking that GOAT stuff about LeBron, when he brought that Cleveland team back from down 3-1, beat that 73-9 Golden State team that beat the Bulls' record with Jordan, 72-10. So, you know, that's, you know, but that's for conjecture and speculation. Who knows, unless Jordan says so. But yeah, then there's the, wow, the Scottie Pippen contract. Now, you can't get mad at nobody but Scottie. He's the one that signed that basically a contract for less than $3 million a year. 7 years, $18 million, something like that. Like, damn, that's all Scottie's worth to y'all? You know, he wasn't getting paid, but he ended up making almost $110 million for his career. So he got made up for later with the Bulls, Portland, and other teams. The Rockets, I believe he played for as well. He made it up for it later, you know, with the money. But yeah, I mean, you know, but Scottie, like you said, you know, I had a big family, so I had to, you know, I had a lot of people to take care of, so I signed it. You know, you can feel the desperation in his voice when he says that. You know, you can just feel that. That's all he was trying to do, is just take care of his people. All right, so, you know, they let you know right now, do not get mad at players when they go for the dough, because the ownership will stick them. All right? You know, I love the, when they were playing the Boston game, the way Jordan scored 63 but lost. You know, they were playing the LL Cool J, I'm Bad Boy. I tell you, that song just brings back memories. And just, you know, that's they pulled out all the stops for this documentary. I've never heard that song played anywhere other than the radio for that long. You know, so shout out to them. You know, so far it's a great documentary. I don't see where it's going to take us anywhere that we didn't know about Jordan. We already, well, other than, okay, well, he already did. They already did, because he, you know, told us about which players were sniffing coke. You know, he walks into a room, they're sniffing coke and smoking weed. He said he wanted no part of that, you know. But, you know, we know about Jordan punching Steve Kerr in practice one day. We know about Michael Jordan's infidelity against his wife, Juanita. We know he called her groupie in the divorce proceedings, which was petty as hell. You know, I guess I'm, you know, you could call me old school, misogynistic, whatever. But, you know, most of these divorces, I don't, you know, I'm not good with the wife getting half. You know, maybe a little bit of lump sum payment or something, you know, to keep her nice and right, but you don't deserve half a lot of times. But Juanita Jordan was one who I've always said deserved half, because her marrying Mike, being married to Michael Jordan, gave him the image of a family man, a black man you could trust, because he's married. Not only is he married, he's not married to a white lady, so he doesn't want your sister. You know, he was a black man you could trust. And that was key. And I believe that Juanita deserved half. I don't care, you know, how that makes me look or sound, whatever. I believe that she did deserve half. Jordan didn't have to play her like that. But, you know, like I said, the rest of this documentary, looking forward to it. The next episode is Dennis Rodman. I believe the next episode is Sunday, this coming Sunday, April 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern. You know, they're going to talk about how Dennis Rodman went from foe to friend. You know, because just before that, he was kicking their ass in Detroit. You know, they went 3-1 against the Bulls in the playoffs. The last, you know, the time that the Bulls won was when they knocked off the Pistons and dethroned them. And basically that's when the Bulls just kind of took over the league. And, you know, Dennis Rodman was on those Piston teams, locking up Scottie Pippen, kind of bullying Scottie Pippen, locking up Jordan. You know, they say the Jordan rules was get to him before he goes to the air. You know, a lot of those hard fouls was Rodman and Lane Beer. Don't forget John Sally. You know, Dumars, Isaiah, Vinnie Johnson. I mean, they had a lot of guys beating on Jordan when he played on those teams. And, you know, Jordan decided to lift some weights and wanted to inflict pain back on them. And there it was. But yeah, that Dennis Rodman episode is going to be special, because I remember in real time back then thinking, how the hell is Dennis Rodman going to play with Jordan and Pippen? But then, I mean, it all made sense. It's just, could Dennis Rodman control himself? Because Dennis Rodman was a hell of a rebounder, hell of a rebounder, hell of a defender. He wasn't expecting the ball. You wasn't to expect any points out of him. You know, he was basically Horace Grant, but better, shorter and better. You know, Horace Grant, the forward on the first three-peat. 91, 92, 93, I believe. So, I remember thinking that. And then, you know, that was the first year, 96, they won the 72 games. You know, you got to remember, they hadn't broke that team up, and Jordan don't take 18 months off, man, I'm telling you. Bulls might have won 8, 9 in a row. They could have been the Celtics, like a friend of mine said, like the Celtics of the 60s, won 8, 9, 10 titles, all in one decade. So far, I personally give it a B+, A-. Like I said, it didn't really tell me much that I didn't already know about Jordan, but it's just intense, you know. So far, like I said, I give it a B+, A-. Looking forward to this Dennis Rodman episode. All right. And we'll be back Thursday. This week, NFL Draft, April 23rd. You know, I'm sure there's some prop bets out there. I don't know if we'll do anything else because those latter rounds are kind of a crapshoot. But we'll see who's all there, what's available. But definitely check the podcast Thursday morning. This show, you can check it Thursday morning as well. We'll have something for you. And we're going to try and get to the bag as best we can through sports betting, all right? And until then, I'll holler. Everybody be safe. Peace.